And welcome back to the Nose Plays Endless Space 2. We are continuing part 4 of our United Empire game using the new Awakening DLC. And we'll try to play for about an hour and another 10 turns tonight. I am live streaming, so if anybody happens to join the chat, please say hello. And feel free to comment on anything that's going on. I do try to read all of your guys' messages and implement any suggestions or questions you have into the conversation. So, game launched and ready. We should be getting in here pretty quickly, and there are a number of things that I want to talk about from the end of last game that I noticed when watching that I missed. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is in this area. Earlier in the game, we got the marketplace and we were running a Imperial booster, which is pretty effective for the United Empire. One of the ones that I would definitely focus on trying to run as often as you can whenever you're playing these guys, because it doubles the influence that the population are producing, and that can be quite significant in your ability to buy things out a little earlier, and also in the size of your influence bubbles, which play a role later in the game. So we are going to try and buy 19 of that red saying, if possible. Red saying is right here. There's definitely 19 of this available. It's only going to cost me 300, so I'm going to go ahead and buy that. And we will get that running. The other thing that we could try to do is run this booster, but this is not going to be likely to be available at the moment on the marketplace. But we can look and see. Actually, there is some of that. 5 of that would cost me over 600 dust. We could definitely get 600 dust pretty easily if we wanted to. Let's just see if we sell these off. That's not worth much. Well, we're really close to 600. We could sell like 8 of these and like 3 of those. And now I can buy that pretty easily. Pretty sure that was the right one, right? Yeah. And we can run that amoeba booster. That's going to help fill that population on that planet. I like the amoeba. They're actually a pretty cool minor faction. Speaking of them, let's come back here and look at this for a second. So one of the reasons I like the amoeba is... Oh, it doesn't show you anymore. Okay, maybe it never did. I think there are 2 different laws that you can potentially roll for this. But one of the laws, if I'm not mistaken, does give you an influence boost. So plus 10 food, that's pretty powerful booster. Plus 10 food for every amoeba population we have, and we have a lot of amoeba population already on that planet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's 50 extra food we're getting a turn instead of 25. So pretty solid there. That will fill this system up quite a bit quicker by running that booster. So we should definitely be doing that. We might even want to seed some of these to some of our other systems, particularly systems that do not have food. It is just plus 10 food too. It's not plus 10 on fertile. I thought it used to only be effective on fertile planets, but it's on any planet, so that's even better. And we definitely... I am considering sending some of these guys to these other systems. They will definitely help them grow a little bit faster. And there's not a lot of food over here, so let's get this one closer to filled out before we start moving our population around, though. Another thing that I thought about that I haven't discussed in a while is ship design and creating special types of ships. So I'm going to call this one the Demolisher design, and we've got all these different ship designs. So we have the Attacker class design, the Protector class design, the Colonizer ship, which we may actually end up using, and then we also have the Zulia, which is the exploration craft, and our big battleship. Now, the big battleship's pretty expensive. The Zulia class and the Karaga class only cost 100 industry to produce. And this particular ship has a gun on it. So you can actually use this for some unique ship designs that are pretty powerful. One of the things that we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw some engines in here. And these engines give us a movement of 6 plus 25%, which is going to be like a movement of 8 essentially. And then I'm going to grab a couple of those, and we may actually throw a weapon on here as well. That's a pretty good ship design. And so what this ship is going to be really good at doing is sieging enemy planets. I am going to go ahead and switch that to this, just so that all of our ship's movements are the same essentially. This is actually higher. Does this one get... It does get a fast bonus. It gets +1 natural movement. So actually, maybe those engines are probably fine then. Movement of 6. I'll double check here in a second. Our normal ships have a movement of 7. Patrols have 6. 6. 6. Yeah, so that's fine. So we'll leave them with that. Then we don't have to use the resources, the Hyperion resource. Okay, so the Demolisher class ships are mainly going to be used for sieging down enemy planets. And since we have so many slots, command point slots available to us, we're going to build a bunch of these in any system that's nearby, and we're going to fill up our command slots. That settler I still want to consider building, but I'm actually going to put it behind a Demolisher first. So 2 turns. And then this system obviously needs to finish what it's doing. Okay, so we're going to build a bunch of those, and that's going to help us burn down the defenses of Mizar before we actually take it over. It's going to make it a lot faster in dealing with the Horatio. Okay, I think we had everything completed that we wanted to do at the end of the last turn. We bought out our battleship, which is going to be purchased. And yeah, there's not too much else that we need to worry about. So I'm going to go ahead and end the turn and get going. We are in an election, and I want to make sure that we do not lose the industrialists. It's not so much that I really care about their laws as much as we have an industrialist hero that I want to stay in the government. I would be okay with the scientists getting in the government as well. They actually have some better laws that I don't mind. But pacifists I really don't want. And I don't even understand how a pacifist militarist government would work. But there is a possibility that that could happen. It's very unlikely, and I'll explain why in a moment. Once you understand how these things get filled up a little bit better, the results become moderately predictable. And so one of the things that's keeping the industrialists so strong in our government is... Why is my computer acting weird here? This right here. And so every time we take an action that yields science, we're also getting a little bit of industry. And so that's, we did some scientific stuff over the last 20 turns. That's added extra drops into the bucket for industrial support.
Generosity is a trait of the honorable.
We potentially could have whatever we want here. We definitely are going to be outproducing everybody in influence at this point in the game, especially with the constellation bonus. I don't know that any of these are particularly great. I do like the idea of that. Extra laws actually could be very powerful as well. And this one I'm not very interested in at all. There are 20 turns left. I'm going to go ahead and put all of our influence in for this first turn, and then see what the other factions do to try to counter me. Okay. That was related to the election there. All this stuff got completed. New population bonus. So we hit 20 pop, which is good. This is an extra 15% on systems with Imperials, which is basically all of our systems. So now our influence is really starting to take off. You see we're making over 300 a turn that we can spend. New law has been activated. So we lost our quest. That kind of sucks. We were a few turns away from completing the quest for holding 3 military laws. We got 4 more turns to go, and we lost the militarists as the primary so we're gonna have to get another law slot basically if we want to. Do we even have another military law? We don't. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Alright, let's get our ships moving. And this one will be done next turn. We'll go ahead and turn that off. We don't need it for the moment. I do have a curiosity here. Go ahead and grab that. And another thing that I need to do, I meant to do this last game and I didn't, is turn the volume up for you guys. So the music is actually playing. I can hear it, but when I listen to the recordings, it's very obvious that the volume is too low for the music for you guys to hear. So we'll go ahead and get these fleets merged together, and that makes this a much more dangerous fleet. We do need to upgrade this battleship still, so that's going to cost us a little bit of dust, but we'll take care of that in a minute. This fleet can be combined now as well. And we need another 5 points of ships. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this ship can be the 5th one potentially, if it makes it in time. And that'll be a nice sized fleet that we'll take over here to deal with these guys. While we're at it, there's no more curiosities for him to deal with, so we'll just keep him moving along his way. It does look like the pirates are over here doing some piratey things. You can see the symbol here for blockade or invasion going on. And so we'll see if they get any loot for us or cause them any problems. They've actually lowered the defenses by about 20 at -4 per turn. So they've been on there for a while. Alright. Anything else that I need to do this turn? Let's take a look at our diplomatic status.
Welcome, welcome. How can the families help?
I would love a trade agreement.
Yeah.
She's not super excited about a trade agreement. She was excited about antimatter yesterday. Let's see if she's still excited about antimatter. Not in that quantity. Almost in that quantity, but not quite. What if we switched it to adamantium? There we go. Okay. I can give you 5. We don't have enough because I spent all of my influence, didn't I? Yep. We'll have to wait till next turn to do that. I'm not sure how a trade agreement's going to work with her since we don't really have the route properly connected, but we'll take care of that in time. I'd like to get it out of the way if we can. We do need to sell a few things. Go ahead and sell these off each turn. We're not using them. And then sell off a little bit of this. Alright. That should be enough dust to get this completed now. And then also, this one I believe needed... Nope, got it already. So all these are up to date. Okay. I think we're in a pretty good spot here. Go ahead and end the turn. We're about to get neural robotics, which is a really, really great building. It's also going to let us start farming this every turn, which is why I wouldn't mind giving up some of it. And then antimatter, we'll want to get that soon. We already have the ability to farm that. So we might want to prioritize that. I do want to get the trade headquarters down. So getting a trade agreement actually isn't that critical yet. I forgot we don't actually have our trade up yet. The question is, do I really want to build my trade headquarters over here? I think I do. I think I want my 3 trade headquarters here, here, and here, and then we'll build all of our subsidiaries down this direction and out over here. I would like to put my next trade subsidiary over here on Mizar if possible. So I am going to go ahead and leave that there, and we're likely to buy it out to speed up the process. You can see our dust has gone negative because we have too many ships. But we'll probably remedy that rather soon. Alright, so we have some options here. I could go for a point over here. This would give us another 20 influence per turn plus another 5% per turn on system. We could also go for more industry to speed up the building of things. That would be beneficial. And we could also go for dust. How many sterile systems do we have on our planet? Or on our capitals? At the moment, we have 2, but we haven't actually colonized them yet. So that's not going to have a very positive effect. Still, 10 industry per turn is not bad. I think I'd rather have the influence, though. So we'll go with that. We do need to get the ability to colonize desert and lava planets pretty quickly here. Pirate report. Contract has been bought out. So we got our reward. A handful of different resources from that planet, plus 83 dust. So they did their little raid and we got something out of it. It did not give us back enough to justify the cost that we spent, even with the discount, I don't think. But we'll go ahead and sell all of that for now. The main thing that it did was it caused them a headache. And it looks like they're still being invaded, so they're going to soften that system up for us later on. That'd be just fine with me. The one downside that I could see is it is going to instigate them to build a military fleet. And so they might have a military force that we're going to have to deal with, but I don't think they're going to be any match for what we're bringing to the table here very, very soon. Let's get our ships moving. And so, yeah, there's only 2 ships over here, unfortunately. And we were attacked. That is interesting.
Whoa, you've got dust? Hey, let's talk.
That's curious. It says they're wary of us all of a sudden, even though the bar looks completely full. You have a neutral standing with the pirates. Only nearby fleets will attack if a mark is placed on you. Not sure what's going on with that. That seems odd. I don't really want to fight these guys. 116. We probably could, though. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll see what happens. We'll probably just take them out. Nope. Alright, well, we lost our ship. That was interesting. I did not think that would happen, but probably had to do with the fact that we didn't have shields. I figured since they were damaged we might have a chance, but I'm not sure what kind of weapons we had on that ship, to be perfectly honest. I should have paid a little more attention. Okay, we got a bunch of ships that are being built. They will all congregate over here shortly. And in the meantime, I think we're going to head over here. We'll send another probe over there. And over there. We'll go ahead and attack this ship and get it out of here.
You seem to care little for the lives of your people. Step closer. Bare your throat.
Okay, so we are in the lead at the moment.
Your unwilling generosity is appreciated.
I will go ahead and give them a little bit of dust for blowing up their ship. And we want to keep an eye on this. There are 19 turns. We'll have to feed some more. But clearly, none of the other factions have the ability to keep up with us as long as we don't use too much of our influence for other things in this short term. For now, we're just going to blockade this system. They're going to lose 27. So in about 8 turns, they'll have no defenses left on the planet, and we can take it over with ease. In the meantime, we're going to have to be careful that this system doesn't get recaptured by a fleet. But that's why we're bringing this one in the very, very near future. In fact, I might even... I'm not going to buy it out. It's going to take more than a couple turns for that ship to get over there. Things are starting to chug a little bit. So 3 turns for that ship to get to where it needs to go. I believe all the other ships will be in time. Little problem. Bring the Horatio vessel to one of your systems with at least 3 available population slots. So we got another vessel that we can drop off on a system that has a lot of room for population. And Maggie lasers. I don't believe Maggie lasers are nearly as good as our Gulgi lasers. The crit chance is half as good, so that pretty much tells the story there. Okay. So this is the Lost Horatio ship. This system has a lot of room available, but so does this system. We've colonized most of these planets, so I'm actually going to send the Horatio ship to that system first. And then this ship, there's one more curiosity here that we're going to stick around for. So he's probably not going to be part of the fleet that actually heads out here. We are almost ready. We've got a bunch of demolishers to help destroy our enemy's defenses. Fleet health is definitely a valid choice. And we've successfully hacked the pirates. We were going to create a backdoor. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And the back door is over here. This is going to give us an opportunity to do a nasty little trick. I do have the accelerator. So what we're going to do is I can send a hack here. I can also send a hack like this. 4 turns. That's likely to be traced. How many turns will it be if I go from here? 5 turns. Okay. So let's do that. And then in addition to that, we can... Wait a second. We got a trace going on to Wrath. So it looks like they're hacking our systems. That's unfortunate. I'm going to go ahead and disable this for now. We're going to add an encryption here. So if they try to trace, they have to go through that encryption. That's going to slow them down. And then we're going to add an accelerator there. And that should make that happen pretty reasonably. And then once that hack is complete, we should have the ability to potentially disrupt their ground defenses when we invade. Okay, we already saw that quest, so we know what that's about. What else do we want to do? I think we're probably good for now. Oh, we got a ship here. Yeah. Let's go ahead and upgrade him and throw him onto this fleet. And merge those together. So we've got our 2 defensive ships, our 2 offensive ships, and our battleship. We also got a probe. I'm going to go ahead and send it down the lane just in case we need to see anything there. It also looks like there's another system over here. So they've picked up a lot of systems that aren't actually part of the constellation, which is why we were able to stay ahead of them for the constellation bonus. But also why their score was very similar to ours for most of the early game. Alright, next turn or 2, it might be 2 turns before we get this here, but clear that. Alright, so we definitely need to get lava planet technology and desert planet technology. Deserts is right here. It also is going to give us new curiosities and the ability for terraforming. Or we could get lava, which is going to give us AI labor, which has some benefits because it's industry. And also 3D public printing. If we have a system that runs out of things to build, that can be very useful. We need both of them. I'm not sure that it matters exactly what order we get them in. So I'm just going to throw them both in the queue for now. Ship's moving. This ship is now complete. So we'll move him over there. And we should be able to merge those. So we've got 2 of them now. We should be able to get this curiosity and then get him on the way as well. Okay. So this system has become a little bit more valuable with the addition of antimatter. And one that we're much more likely to be interested in putting that settler that I was looking at building on. I was considering this system, but the antimatter has kind of shifted my opinion of that. So let's go ahead and move this back in front. We'll get that taken care of. 1 turn away? 2 turns away. This ship we don't care about. It's this one. He's still 2 turns away as well, it looks like. Okay. Well, let's get another turn under our belts. Alright, let's see. That settler has been completed. So let's go ahead and get him out. And repairs and upgrades to selected ships. What could we possibly be upgrading on that? I don't think it matters. Go ahead and send him on his way. Get our ships moving. We're waiting for one more ship now. And that will be 14 of 15 ships. I suppose one thing we could do is build one more and just buy it out. Oh, never mind. There we go. I forgot about one. Okay, so we will have 15 of 15. I did count correctly earlier. And we know where he's going. And we did see a ship over here. So let's go ahead and attack that. Looks like it's just a scout ship. No, it's actually a weapon. They are using missiles this time. Which means we don't want to be at long range. We want to move into close range as quickly as possible. So we'll go with this. We shouldn't take too much damage from this because we do have bullet weapons. And he's going to retreat, so that works just fine. This time we can see this system, and we can see there's a quest ship here. Looks like there's one more lane over here that we're going to have to investigate. I've already got a probe heading that direction. I could use a little more sight down there and over there. This probe will eventually uncover that. Okay. And another turn. We're at 2K influence. It's time to take a peek over here, and yes, we can buy this out, which we should definitely do, and then start working on predictive logistics, which we should also definitely do. And predictive logistics is basically going to get moved to the front of every queue. There is an exception on this system, and that is because... let's just double check. We want to be on this system here. 4, 2, 7, and 5. Yeah, that's probably right. There is an exception here, and that is because we are very close to Happy. Actually, we just moved into Happy because I moved him off of this barren world. But we also have some science needs, and so this will actually be very beneficial on this system because of the binary moons. So we're going to go ahead and go with that for now. Hostile trace detected. Botha has been compromised, so we already kind of knew that that was going to happen. Alright, and we just dropped a whole bunch of people on here, so I want to make sure they ended up on the right systems. Horatio prefer hot planets, and there are no hot planets over here. So it really doesn't matter where they end up. I thought it was 3 Horatio population. That's curious that it only gave us 2 of the 3. Huh. I'm not sure what that's about, but we'll go ahead and put predictive logistics in here. And I will queue up that as well. Yeah, that's curious. This ship probably doesn't have a whole lot of use for us. And it is costing us money every turn. We can't upgrade it. I can't put better engines on it. I think what we're going to do is just go ahead and sell it. And then this ship actually can be merged with this fleet. And this fleet is now ready to begin its long journey over to Mizar. We do have a movement of 7 because of his fleet accelerators. That will help just a little bit with the number of turns that it takes to get over there. The one issue that we may have is this.
You've got dust. You do have some.
Okay.
Never let it be said that you can't trust a pirate.
We'll pay him just to ensure that we don't get attacked on our way over there. That would be annoying. And once this gets completed, we're going to use the remaining influence that we have to attempt to build our second subsidiary. And then our dust problems will be solved temporarily once again. Okay, so if we go to here, you can see that we now have 2 trade routes, both of which are heading to Varen. So that one, and then this one here. We'll build a subsidiary here, which will then create double trade routes. So this one will go to here and to there, and then this one will go to here and to there. And that will be very beneficial in the dust realm. So this system needs to build a trade subsidiary. It's going to be 13. We'll be able to buy that out next turn. So I'm not too concerned about that. Anything else that we need to do here? We are about ready to run a different law. And since we're not building ships anymore, we might as well cancel that. We can start this once we actually get to the site. Probably should have canceled that several turns ago. Alright, we're going to attack Horatio's fleet. And just to double check, he's using energy weapons, and we are primarily using guns. So we have a mixture of guns and lasers. So again, Turtle's probably the best range for us. He can pick whatever range he wants with those weapons, but he's probably going to retreat once again. We can send a probe out that direction and that direction. And moving right along here. See our large fleet, and Isander's ship has moved on to our world. That's kind of a minor problem. It's definitely a concern. We should have been doing something with this system for the last few turns, and I'm not sure why we haven't been, but we're going to remedy that at the moment. And we've got 2 out of 3 worlds already colonized. Let's go ahead and get the 3rd, and then we'll probably throw that in the queue as well. Since we did end the turn, we can now buy this out, which we should totally do. And I don't think that that's going to have any impact. No. Let's It's very curious. We're just like barely on the verge of happy. So we might want to consider this after that. Just so we stay in the happy range. Because we want to be getting our bonuses for influence and dust and science, which are all very important to us. Alright, we can colonize this huge steppes world, which is going to start bringing in antimatter as soon as we get it researched. And we need a little bit of dust and some influence in order to speed this process up. Ooh. Why am I unable to do this? Don't quite have enough this turn. Okay. Well, we'll wait one turn to pass that law. And I guess we'll wait one turn to collect the dust as well. Now I should be able to do both. Alright, so I can get both of those. And then we want to choose where the food is coming from. So right now it's coming from IMEX. That makes the most sense because IMEX has the largest quantity of food available to it. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that as is. The reason that the food is so good there is because of all the amoeba. Alright, we got the desert colonization now available to us. So we should definitely throw that in the queue. That'll take a couple of turns, and then let's get this in the queue as well. Actually, I am going to go ahead and just let this finish out first, but we'll get these things quickly. Trade subsidiary is in place. IMEX is going to start losing population because we're sending lots of food to our new colony. And now we can afford to run this. So that'll shave a couple more turns off of that. So we're looking at 14 turns minus all the food we're going to get. Alright, so we made a hack. We can jam their commands. This is the one I was talking about. So this forces the target to use a unique detrimental ground battle. So we're going to go ahead and jam their commands. And now we can see they have no defenses. Even if they try to defend, they're going to lose quite handily. And we can blitz with all of our tanks. The maximum cap for a blitz is increased, and we are just shy of the max cap. So this is actually the best battle tactic we could use for the most destruction. Let's take a watch. Alright, so they use Stampede, which is this very negative battle tactic. It has minus 50% manpower deployment limit, and it does not allow them to conscript. So basically it's a guaranteed loss for up to 5 turns. Usually it only takes 1. So we set that up right. The real question is, do we want this system? Or do we want to just raise it to the ground? So they've got 2 ash and a lava world, but there is an adamantium deposit on it. I am sort of the mind that we don't want this system. I am interested in this system, and I am interested in this system. I suppose I'm interested in this system in that we want to be able to stay ahead of whoever else is likely to challenge us for control of this constellation. And it does provide a trade route, potential trade route path. Alright, so we'll go ahead and occupy it. Go ahead and occupy it for now. Bring this. That was weird. I'm not sure what was going on there. We've got a lot of things to rebuild, unfortunately. So we'll start with Xeno industrial infrastructure and then build into predictive logistics. The Horatio population actually worked pretty well on this type of a system due to the fact that they get bonuses on hot worlds for approval, and hot worlds are not very pleasant to live on, so it kind of counters the penalty. Unfortunately, for a little while, we're going to be running negative food as we have to rebuild this over time. The approval comes up as we gain control of the system, which can take up to like 10 turns, I believe. Alright. Our ship is well on its way. Not quite there yet, but getting closer every turn. Our hack is complete, so we have another hack now. The question is, do we want to do the same tactic to Mizar? And I think the answer is yes. So what we're going to do is hack from here to there to there. 6 turns, and then I can run an accelerator. Does not compute. No hacking operation may pass through this node. Huh. Okay, well, then I guess we won't. Now that that's done, we want to deal with these other systems. So we're just going to continue to pressure them. And it won't take very long before we are in complete control. Unfortunately, I may have destroyed that scout ship just a little early. The Horatio scout ship does have quite a bit to do now that we've uncovered all these curiosities. So what we need to do is build another scout ship on a system with a good amount of industry. Sorting by industry here, and we've got this one building something important. Botha's not building anything that important, so let's go ahead and throw a patrol ship into the front of the queue. That'll only take 2 turns, and then he can just kind of swing around this entire system and grab all these curiosities again. Notice our dust problems have been taken care of quite thoroughly, and at this point it does make sense to maybe start pouring some dust into our trade companies. So we now have 2 trade companies. Each trade company can be renamed, but we don't need to worry about that. And then each one of these has a subsidiary. So we have 1 of 2 headquarters, 1 of 1 subsidiary, and no external subsidiaries. External would be if we started trading with the Lumeris, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit down for that. And that's going to help with that a little bit, and that'll increase our gains over time. You want to start pouring dust in there as soon as you're not really using it for anything else. You never want to just be sitting on a big pile of dust. The same could be said for influence or any other resource that you're collecting. And we've hit turn 70 right around an hour. I think we are going to go ahead and do just a couple more turns just to finish off the war with the Horatio. We probably won't completely wipe them out, but we will take their capital, and in the process earn us a new hero who will probably become a governor. Population has gone up, so that's good. Horatio population has gone down. We've got amoeba and imperials that need to get boosted again. So we need 24 of these and 6 of these if we want to keep those running, which I do. So let's go to the marketplace and the luxuries, and we need 6 of these this time. I don't have the dust on hand, but I do have a bunch of this we can sell, and say, let's do like 16 of that and 20 Hyperium. That should be more than enough for now. So we need 6 of these, and then we need 24 of these. Alright, that should be good. Back to this menu. And we can run both those boosters again and continue to get those nice little perks.
For so long, we thought we were alone in this cosmos.
Ooh.
The Umbral Choir is overjoyed to meet you, creature.
Not very excited about that. The Umbral Choir are a very annoying faction to deal with. Where did they meet us? It's showing that they were revealed by these pirates. So their ship, as they moved through this system, got revealed temporarily by the pirates, and we happen to have vision of that for whatever reason. Maybe because we're cordial with the pirates still. The fact that it's probably just a scout ship is okay. And hopefully they're not on this constellation. I don't think they'll be that big of a problem, but we'll definitely have to keep our eye out for what they're doing. Let's just take a look at their score for the moment. 355 is not a very good score yet. They're not in the... Whoa. They're not in the 500s where we are, and most certainly not in the 900s where this unknown blue empire is, that I am mildly terrified of at the moment. I'm very curious what that blue empire is. We'll have to do some catching up here pretty soon. Alright, so we're 2 turns away from getting to Mizar. And we have some curiosities that we can uncover. Lots of curiosities, actually. 50 dust. Gossamer. We'll go ahead and start sieging this world down. At 30 a turn, we're probably not going to siege this entire system. Alright, that patrol ship is completed. So let's get it out on its way. And let's keep our population on this system as much as possible. More Imperials. Perseus has been compromised. Do we know where it's been compromised from? I didn't bother to check the hack earlier.
In the name of the Hisho Nation and Donatsi the Sun God, I greet you.
Okay. We are familiar with these bird people. I don't like the fact that everybody's in my constellation all of a sudden. It's a little bit frustrating. Luxury resource, Gossamer, okay. The pirates have amassed quite a fleet over here. I do not know what they're doing just yet.
Whoa, you've got dust? Hey, let's talk.
But I would like to buy another pirate mark.
They won't.
And I would like to use that pirate mark on this system once again to keep them busy. They have a lot of ships that actually could cause some problems for them. Alright, this ship is now completed. Let's get over here and get some scouting done. Get some of these new curiosities. Alright, 2 deposits of Gossamer. Don't think anybody really uses Gossamer right now, but get him queued up for his next scouting. Alright. Let's just take a peek at everything. So this one is 12 turns away now. We have not got any of the food from IMEX. It's going to take a while because these are traveling across open space instead of a star lane. Anything else that I want to do? I think we're good on most things. We don't have access to heroes just yet. There is a way that we could buy heroes in the marketplace if we wanted to. And getting some governors for all these, particularly the trade company, I believe that affects the trade company significantly, especially if you get the right hero in that seat. There are a number of heroes that boost trade companies. We could buy this out. I think I'd rather save up my dust for the time being. Or not dust, influence. We definitely want to consider pouring some more influence into that Isander quest. Alright, so their main system is going to have significantly more defenses. Significantly maybe is a strong word. 300 current defenses. However, because we brought all of those ships with us, we have the ability to completely destroy all of their defenses in 3 turns. And in less than 3 turns, I believe our hack is going to be complete. And so right at the same time that their defenses are down, we inadvertently, but quite beneficially time that perfectly. I do need a few other things. We need to start collecting antimatter. Also, gas planets are beneficial, and mining is beneficial. Be the first to pass a law from each of the 6 political parties from the beginning of the game. I'm not sure what faction has the ability to do that. It's gotta be the new Nakalim, right? Maybe? I have no idea. Go ahead and grab that. We have a... Let's see, where did they send that fleet? Let's see if they sent it that way. I'm hoping they did not. Send a fleet to the quest marker. We don't have any fleets anywhere near that quest marker, and they won't be for quite some time, so... No, that's not going to happen. We do have some probes over here that we can continue to scout with, and should. Ionic crystals, okay. Just continue to blockade this system for now. What else do we need to do? I think we're good. I don't think they have any way of really combating us at this point. So we'll go to about turn 75, because I believe that is going to be the turn that Horatio Prime falls. And puts us in a very good position to win this game, I believe. Alright, our hero has earned another point of experience. We were having difficulty finding good things to throw points into. We'll just go ahead and throw a point into that for now. Actually, before I do that, yeah, we're at 3.3 thousand as our total cap, and our current Empire manpower is about half of that. So we're in no danger of topping out. So yep, more shields it is. Hostile trace detected. Okay, so they've detected our trace. This is going to be done in just a couple of turns. So I'm not too worried about it. I am going to see... plus 10% bandwidth cost on all programs on this system while your hacking op is going on. Can we throw that on there? I don't know that it'll have any real impact on them, but why not? We have nothing else to do with our extra bandwidth. Alright. So this is the point. Denark University was completed. That is good. That was worth a lot of experience for this guy. And as a result, we do have a couple of sterile systems. This is not a lot of dust at this point in the game. But industry is industry. And I think we can definitely always use more industry. IMEX is losing population, not worried about it. They'll get it back fast enough. We did finally complete this. And we got autonomous materials. Okay. So this is the wormhole technology. Also gives us a few other things. Nothing all that interesting, but the wormhole technology is pretty much required at some point in the game. Pretty useful. Definitely need it if you're going to do trade routes with other factions, which we're trying to. So we can orbit Sathras or Nis. Fighters are less valuable than bombers in the early game. In later game, fighters have a little bit of a place, but not much. They're very, very situational. Let's get this taken care of first. Shield wall, huh? Alright, so we've got to pick one of these. Sarthis or Nis? Where are these locations? Sarthis is over here. Nis is nowhere near me. We have not even discovered Nis as of right this second. I don't think there's any way we're going to get that quest completed, so it doesn't particularly matter, but we'll go with this one just in case I find a way to do it. We do have 10 turns to make it happen, so there's a chance. Alright, first things first. This is actually a really good system. They have 3 of the 6 major strategics in this system. Mining is going to be incredibly profitable here. Next turn they will have absolutely no defenses. So we're going to go ahead and wait one more turn. I am going to go ahead and attack one of these guys. Let's get rid of you. And I'm going to go to the advanced mode so that I can customize my fleets just a little bit. I don't know why you can set these in different ways. Yeah, I have no clue why they do it the way they do it. But this should be sufficient. We're not even going to watch it. That ship is gone. We got some points. They're going to be unhappy with us.
Dishonorable proposal.
We are going to refuse because we want militarists back in charge of our... And I'm going to go ahead and send this. I actually have access to this area, which we definitely need to figure out where this constellation finally ends. We can see a couple of wormholes over here and over here, as well as over here. This is how they probably got... Well, no, it looks like they sent a probe down this lane. But that's how they got onto our constellation. Okay, next turn we'll do the invasion, and we'll
this is
go ahead
another
and end the video.
dishonorable proposal.
There are no more curiosities here, so we're going to go ahead and head down. How many turns is it going to take to get here? It's 5 versus 6 to there. Let's go ahead and do this because this has more value, being that this is actually a system we might be able to collect from in the near future. This one is just a curiosity and not something we're going to be collecting from. I also have one over here. This might also be a good time to come back over here to the trade page and just pour a bunch of dust into both of these. Get this dust up higher, because we're going to need another fleet, or at least to completely expand this one to a similar size. Alright. Oh, hacking time. We got a second hacking operation. Well, isn't that convenient? 4 turns to get to there. Let's go ahead and hack that and see what we can do with it. I don't know if it might get traced and we might lose our back door, but that wouldn't be the end of the world. I'm planning on dealing with these pirates at some point anyways. Alright. They will fall very soon. There's a lot of population here. The Horatio are really known for focusing on food and being quite successful with it. Let's go ahead and get rid of this Sofun ship as well. Get some more experience, get some more dust. Did he fight us? No, he ran away, as he should have. Another point of experience for this dude. I guess we're going to go ahead and throw his stuff into the same until I have something better to put his points into. Faction assimilated by unknown empire. Not worried about it.
Your actions will only make the war more painful.
We are not going to stop attacking you. And in fact, we are going to invade you.
Your actions will only
Very
make
soon.
the war.
Right after we finish off Horatio. This has a few more turns before it's completely defenseless, but it's a pretty small system. We could probably take it as is. So let's see what our invasion force looks like. So it's 600. They actually have approximately 300 more troops that they could conscript, but only a 100 at a time, I believe. There's no way they're going to beat this force, so we're going to go ahead and invade here as well. And we'll start with the Mizar. They're going to have the crappy battle tactic again. So we have up to 780 troops that we can deploy with an additional 420 in reserve. This is not going to go well for them. So they did draft more Horatio, but but it wasn't enough. A decisive victory. We did destroy a number of improvements, and they did lose a little bit of population from the conscription, but we'll deal with that next. This system, again, we can probably blitz and just outright win. I'm not going to watch this one. It'll be very similar. So they just lost 2 systems in decisive fashion. And this is not a system that I want to keep. It's not part of our constellation. But let me just take a peek at it before I completely dismiss it. Yeah, it's got gossamer, it's got ionic crystals, but since it's not part of the constellation, it's not going to be good for trade routes. There's only one, and we destroyed a bunch of stuff here, so I am actually going to... Well, let's start with Mizar. We are definitely going to occupy Mizar. The scarred combat zone was the stage of the most devastating campaign that took place in the invasion of Horatio Alpha. The battle claimed the lives of many soldiers. The nose plays took control of the system. Alright. And then this was the second one. Here, and I think we're going to just raise this to the ground. And destroy it outright. Hey Stu, how's it going, buddy? You should totally check out this game sometime. Alright. So, I see that. Yeah, I'm actually wrapping it up. We're an hour and 22 minutes in, and I just took over pretty much all of this guy's system. He's got maybe two left, but this was his capital city, which we just took over. So pretty cool. My viewers wanted to see a warmonger, so we're playing a very aggressive military United Empire. This guy, he's pretty cool. So, before I go ahead and end the video, let's take a look at the spoils of war and see what kind of system we're dealing with here. Horatio obviously has lots of population. He also has built a few things. So he's got level 2 modernization with dust. He's got a lot of the basic buildings still standing after our siege. We'll have to rebuild a few of them. And he's running spin projects, which is interesting. That's good because that's what I would be running if I were in control of this system, which I now am. Since we're mutinous, I don't think there's any reason to not have these guys on one of these other systems. We don't really care about approval for a little while. It's going to suck no matter what we do. But let's go ahead and get spin projects back up. We'll get that queued up. We'll get predictive logistics queued up. And this system is in good spot still, so we don't need to worry about that. So yeah, I think this is a great place to go ahead and end the video for tonight. I hope everybody who's watching this series is enjoying it, and we will continue this at least a couple more videos. I do want to completely wipe out the Horatio. I do want to attempt to wipe out the Sophons, and then once we've cleared all of this space between us, we've already made friends with the Lumeris, and we can see if we can get some very intricate trade networks going on. That'd be pretty cool. And then use all that dust to funnel large fleets into Craver's space and wipe out the space bugs. So I don't know how long this game is going to go on before I switch to something else, but That is the tentative plan. So if you're enjoying it, please let me know in the comments section, and come and join me when I'm live streaming. Until then, this has been The Nose Plays, and you guys have a great day.